All right, so I'm just driving, and today I'm gonna recap on some of yesterday's World Cup games, the ones specifically that I managed to watch or at least see parts of. We had Switzerland against Canada, Bosnia, Qatar, Scotland, Brazil, Morocco, Haiti, South Korea against my boys Korea, and Czechia against Mexico. And I'm not sure what's happened with all these nations that have started changing their names, like Turkey instead of Turkey. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know why people are changing their names. And if we're just supposed to adopt them, English are typically pretty stubborn with changes like that. It's almost a little ignorant, but harmless ignorance, if that makes sense. Czechia to me is still the Czech Republic. Turkey, and I'll probably refer to them whatever comes to my head at the time. So I'm driving for about 15 minutes here. I may stop. I'm trying to find easy ways of editing this so that it is seamless. And the world's smallest car, Geo Electric, it looks like only Fools and Horses, but smaller and blue, and she's parked on the sidewalk. I'm not sure what's happening. Anyway, the first thing I'm going to get into is one that interests me the most yesterday. It's my second team, and typically in sports we don't allow second teams. You follow who you follow, and that is it, and you hate everybody else. I have an exception, and I think it's totally fair. I am Canadian, I am English. I will always be English first and then Canadian second, but I've lived in Canada for 20 years, I think 21 years in March 2027, which will mean that I have officially spent half my life in Canada, half my life in England, and I feel I'm rocking a Canadian jersey on Canada game days and an England jersey on England game days. I don't think they could actually even meet up at this point, at any point in the World Cup, but should they meet up, rest assured I will be England, and I will be hoping that we make it all the way. But in the Switzerland-Canada game, it was interesting. The big problem I have with the Canada team right now is Alphonso Davies. He's clearly, we know he was hurt. He's made of glass. He's probably when he's 100% fit and healthy, he's probably the best attacking left back in the world, in my opinion, with Olympic speed. But he's got hamstrings that are made out of guitar strings, and they seem to snap very easily. Now, they've taken him to the World Cup. For the past 2 games, they have said he is fit enough to play. He's not played. And now what they're going to do is, I assume yesterday Jesse Marsch felt that he didn't need to bring him into the game at all. And he's going to be totally okay with him being introduced into the World Cup in knockout football, which I feel like he should have got at least 30 minutes under his belt yesterday, because it puts a lot of pressure on him, and the country is expecting Alphonso Davies to come into the team, and suddenly Canada's going to be this force. It's not gonna be that way. This is a guy that hasn't played in weeks, months even. He came back from his ACL injury. Then he played for a few weeks or months or whatever at Bayern. And then now he's done his hamstring. And we're going to say, hey, Alfonso, it's the round of 32. You ready to go? And he's not going to be ready to go, but that's where we're at. And Canada lost yesterday. They now play, we know, confirmed South Africa on Sunday at 1 p.m. It's going to be a rainy day again in Edmonton. All it does is rain right now. On the weekends, especially. It's beautiful right now. It's probably 25 degrees at this very moment and sun shining. But we're going to get a rainy weekend again. And the bonus for that is that there's not going to be much outdoor stuff we can do. Saturday, England are playing. Sunday, Canada are playing. And we're going to go against South Africa. And I watched a lot of the South Africa game against my favorite underdogs, South Korea. They look good. South Africa looked very good. Korea did not look good. Another decision where Korea, a loss puts them at risk of actually not making the next round. They're in a good spot in the best seeding third place teams. The best 8 third place teams also go through to the round of 32. They're sitting about mid-level. They have -1 goal differential. My gut tells me they should make it through. I don't know if they're gonna, for sure, until we've played the rest of the group games. I think they will, but for some reason, and I don't know the ins and outs, maybe there was a story on it, maybe he's hurt, maybe he's whatever, but Heung-min Sonny was rested. He's, in my opinion, got to be their best player, and it's not even close. Like, he's their best player. He would get into a lot of the teams that are in the World Cup. And then a manager goes and rests him again. Same as Alphonso Davies with Canada. Like, if he's hurt, he's hurt. But why are they not playing? But anyway, into the Canada game. They lost. They put up a good fight in the second half from what I saw. And I didn't get to see it all because it was during work time, and I saw a bit at home last night, and it looked like Canada got better in the second half. They made some changes. I'm gonna butcher his name, but number 7, it's not a Canadian name. It's Italian, I think. Esquero. But he's been standing in as captain while Fonzie's been hurt. And he was also on the bench. He's been suffering with muscle stiffness. It didn't fill me with confidence that they're going to beat South Africa. I don't think they will. In all honesty, they have a chance, but South Africa seem to be getting this coverage, media coverage, excuse me, that they're probably everybody's favorite underdog right now. There was a lot of coverage of them in the change room after the game, and they're dancing around, they're having parties, they're eating buffet food, from what I saw, and it seems to be gaining speed and coverage of everybody's favorite underdog team. So I have a sneaky feeling that momentum is with South Africa, and they could sneak past Canada in the next round. I hope not. Canada really does get behind their teams. It's the one difference I noticed between Canadian and English coverage and public support. is Canada really gets behind their hockey teams, their football teams, and then we all have this bitter disappointment like in the Olympics when the US managed to beat us, and we build ourselves, we have these great events, everybody's at the bars, they're all watching, and then all of a sudden we get beat, and then everybody's disappointed. We all go, oh man, that sucks, and then we get on and we wait for the next thing to come around. So we'll see. I'm not 100% sure that we're going to do it, especially if Alphonso Davies isn't 100%, especially if number 7, I'll say, isn't 100% fit. Kone broke his leg, although Saliba's come in and he seems to be standing in pretty good. But just watching, they don't have that skill level that you think these guys are gonna do it. But they might sneak through. I'm gonna skip over Bosnia, Qatar, because who cares, really? Qatar were way out of it already. Bosnia are now going to probably go through as one of the third best teams, or the best third place teams. Scotland, Brazil. The funny thing about Scotland is I think that most English supporters want Scotland to do well. And as things stand right now, I understand that if Scotland did qualify and they made the round of 32, and if they won their game against whoever it is, if they won that game, there is potential for us to play England to play Scotland in the last 16, which would be crazy. But I think that most English people want Scotland to do well. Most Scottish people want England to fail so badly, and there's so much hate there, and I don't think it's reciprocated. I don't think most English people want Scotland to fail as badly as Scottish people want England to fail. So they lost against Brazil. They put up a good fight. In the end, I think Brazil's quality was just too much. Vinicius Jr. seems to be having a great tournament. Big smile on his face, seems to be really enjoying it right now. Scored a couple of good goals, had 2 disallowed. Could have had 4 goals in that game yesterday. And he is now firmly in that golden boot race with apparently every other striker in the tournament that is putting up record numbers. I think we're going to have a tournament where 9 or 10 goals is probably the winner of the golden boot. I don't think it's going to be Messi. I think it's going to be Mbappe. Norway, I was talking about Japan being everybody's dark horse team yesterday. Norway were mine. And there seems to be a real shift again in momentum for Norway. They're doing the whole Viking row thing in the crowd, and everybody's getting behind them. Everybody's enjoying it. And any team that has Erling Haaland in their team is going to score a bunch of goals, because he is an absolute monster. I saw some kind of AI generated clip yesterday where it showed one of the players' views of Haaland running towards him while he had the ball. And I don't know how you don't cry at that moment, because he's so direct and so fast and so tall and so strong, and he eats raw liver and things like that. So he's a monster, and I think he's got like 56 goals in 52 games for Norway. It's just outrageous, and I think Norway will be a team that does really well here. depending on the draws, because it looks like one half of the draw for the next 32 is substantially easier than another. So, as it stands, it looks like, and my hope and dream is that England are actually going to have one of the easier paths through to the next round. And so, with that, like, if we do meet Scotland, we won't. Scotland aren't going to get that far. I don't think Scotland are going to get through, to be honest, because there's still a heck of a lot of teams to play. And I think Scotland's going to find themselves getting dumped out here. I got to stop. I got to go to work. I just pulled up to my location. And so I will hopefully be able to record something else for the other games that I talk about as I make my way back to my next spot after this site visit. All right. I'll chat to you in a bit. All right. Seamless as ever. I'm back. So I think the rest of the games that we were looking at were not really worth the time. Morocco, Morocco's gonna do just fine. And then I think the other game was Haiti played Morocco. The other game, I don't know. I forget. We're for the next 4 days in total. We're at 6 games a day, I think it is. It's a lot to keep track of, and especially now they're playing at the same times, the group games. It's tough to stay on top of all of them because you can't watch them. Well, you can with technology. You can watch them both at the same time. I'm not doing that. So, who do you think's going to win the World Cup? I think France. France are going to win the World Cup. They could legitimately put out 3 teams that would win the World Cup, in my opinion. And we don't have that depth because it's England, we don't have that depth because we decided to take Jordan Henderson to the World Cup instead of Cole Palmer. Phil Foden, possibly on his day, the most gifted English player we've had since Wayne Rooney. Has he played as well as Wayne Rooney? No, he hasn't. But a game like Ghana, where we are totally closed down, it needed a guy that could, play inside of a phone booth and make plays and find a space and play it out to the wingers that are not Anthony Gordon, that are not Noni Madueke. I can't believe I'm saying that those are our starting wingers. I have to believe that Saka is hurt. But again, why take him? Why not take Cole Palmer? Why not take Phil Foden? If you're not going to take both of them, take one of them. And there's so many. After Tuchel named his team for the World Cup, I was disappointed, like everybody, it felt. And then we played against Croatia, and you were like, oh my god, this guy's a genius. A genius. He's unlocked the secret. We've had 60 years of disappointment since 1966, and all of a sudden we're leaving our best players at home, and he's found the key. And then you play Ghana, and you're like, oh no, he lost it. He lost the key. We decided that Anthony Gordon, who I think honestly, if he just cut his hair, I'd be less resistant. He irritates me from the inside, and I'm not going to get over it. I'm not going to get past it. I think the only way is if we made the World Cup final. He came on as an 89th minute substitute and bagged a worldie winner. I think that's that's what would do it for me. But the fact that Barcelona didn't want to give 26 something around their million for Marcus Rashford, who has already been there. They've seen that he's performed. He performed well. He got like 14 goals and as many assists in the season. But they saw enough of Anthony Gordon not being able to beat a man, not being able to get space for himself with no end product, and said, that guy, I'm going to give 70 million for him instead. And Marcus, you're going to have to go home. So it doesn't seem that he's going to have a spot at Manchester United, which again, I think he said some crazy stuff on his exit. Like when he went to Aston Villa on loan, I think even the cafeteria people got it on his way out. That has to be what happened, because why Manchester United wouldn't take this homegrown Manchester boy back with open arms when he's clearly gotten over whatever it was that was affecting him at Manchester, which has to have been Ruben Amorim. He's gone. He's got Michael Carrick, who probably knows him and can put an arm around him and say, hey, everything's going to be okay, and massage his shoulders and tell him that he's good. And I don't know why they're not accepting him back. I think he'll still play for Manchester United next season. I think that's my theory. I think they were a little apprehensive. They were probably nervous that Barca would take them up on the 30 million. And they were like, damn, I think we could have got more. Marcus Rashford performs well against Panama. Here's my prediction, is England are going to beat Panama 5-0. By the way, keep your eye on, I think he's number 6 or number 8 for Panama. I think his name's Martinez. He has one of those faces that you instantly dislike. It's probably up there with Anthony Gordon. If they're playing at the same time, I won't know who to root for. But he seems a bit of a menace in that, like, Dennis Wise, Gattuso type mold. And I've seen him play only a couple of times, obviously, because I've never watched Panama before the World Cup. But he seems... What's interesting is I'm outside the Edmonton Association of the Deaf, and there's a lady on her phone outside right now, just sitting on the floor on her phone. And so Anthony Gordon against Martinez, I'm not sure who I'm going to want to win that one, if there's a 50-50 duel. But anyway, keep your eye on him, because I think he's going to be a menace. He's going to look to get players booked. He's going to look to get players in trouble with the ref. I hope it's a strong ref. I didn't mind the one against Ghana. He let us off because it was a penalty for sure. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Ezri Konsa, again, we'll leave Harry Maguire at home. Proven international, proven big game performer for England. But we're going to take Ezri Konsa, who... I don't know. It was a stonewall penalty. Pickford probably should have been sent off for his earlier challenge, that he made it look like the other guy got him, and he didn't. It was Pickford's fault. He shouldn't have been there. The thing I don't like is that why are we playing so much around at the back? It's obviously the strategy. It's obviously the tactic that Tuchel has gone for, is that we're going to play it back to Pickford. In that first game, Pickford received more passes and played more passes in the first 10 minutes than Anthony Gordon had touches in the entire game. You're not going to be able to do that when you play France and when you play Spain and when you play, especially Spain, because they're going to press, and you're going to lose the ball. And I don't like England's chances. Like I said, before the World Cup, this is awful. I was actually depressed going into the World Cup because of the team we had. Because we have Jed Spence, who, believe it or not, in the first 2 games has surprised me, and I've not been totally disappointed in Jed Spence. I don't even know what his best position is. I think we should have taken Luke Shaw, who has played every single game for Manchester United this season, who finished third in the Premier League. But we took Jed Spence, who almost got relegated with Tottenham. We've left Harry Maguire home, who by his recent standards had a good season. And we've taken Big Dan Burn. Yeah. Big Dan Burn. That's what he has, is big. I don't think he'll see an ounce of the World Cup. So for me, that was a waste of time. And it's like I said, Jordan Henderson. Jordan Henderson shouldn't have been in the last Euros squad, but he somehow made it. And I keep thinking back to that Roy Keane bit where he says some people say he's good to have around the place. Well, what does he do? Card tricks? Like he doesn't add anything to this England team that we've got defensive midfielders. We've got Elliot Anderson. We've got Declan Rice. We've got Kobbie Mainoo, who I love. I would have no worries. They're talking Declan Rice might not be fit, and we're going to play Kobbie Mainoo. I'm okay with that, because for me, Kobbie Mainoo, we probably should find a spot for him. I think he's great. I love the guy. And I have total confidence when he's on the field that it's going to be okay. I don't know much about Elliot Anderson. I don't watch Forest play. I'm a Derby fan. I have no interest in Nottingham Forest. I heard Manchester City had bid 120 million and the big Greek lad said no, that's not enough. Who, in terms of owners, could be the worst owner, I think, in the Premier League. So I think Elliot Anderson, after the World Cup, you're going to find that he's going to force a move away from Forest. He doesn't want to be there, not when he's getting 120 million offers, probably a substantial wage increase to go play at Manchester City, or at least be on the bench at Manchester City. So Kobbie Mainoo, I think we should have left Declan Rice at home, and I think we've got an abundance of central defensive midfielders, and we probably should have taken Cole Palmer or Phil Foden as an option. I'm not going to talk about Morgan Gibbs-White plays for Forest. Forest are shit, and I don't think he should have gone. I am getting close to my next destination, and I need to eat, so I'm not going to keep this much longer. Score prediction: England 5, Panama nothing. Harry Kane's going to get a first half hat-trick. They're going to bring him off at half-time. They're going to throw on Ivan Toney, who is in the squad because he scores a penalty while not looking. That's why he's there. But England aren't blessed with great strikers right now. Harry Kane is our only world-class player. Which again is another reason we're not going to win the World Cup. Because France probably have a world-class player in almost every position. Goalkeeper, I'm not sure. I don't even know. I think it's Maignan. I don't think he's world-class. But if you look throughout the rest of their team, maybe central midfield, they got Tuchel and Adrien Rabiot. And for me, oh, you son of a... She knows what she's done. Slammed on her brakes. Adrien Rabiot is not world-class, never was, and he's old. That's the equivalent of France taking Jordan Henderson to the World Cup. So central midfield are probably a bit weak, but the rest of the team is stacked. Michael Olise, Dembele, the current Golden Ballon d'Or winner. Mbappe, for me, is actually the best player in the world right now, despite being Real Madrid's 4th choice striker, apparently. Yeah, so France will win. England will win 5-1 against Panama. We're going to play on the following Wednesday, which is Canada Day at 10 a.m. And I hope we're going to play somebody like Cape Verde. Although you're getting to the part of the tournament where you need to start playing semi-competitive teams so that when you get to the semi-finals, hopefully, when you get to the final, hopefully, and you do play a good team, all of a sudden you're not like, oh my God, these are better than Cape Verde. So that's my thought. I think Brazil, I'm not worried about. They have Vinicius Jr. and a lad from Brentford as their striker, so I'm not worried about Brentford. I think our Aston Villa centre-back will tie him up. And we also have Spain. I don't think Spain have a natural striker that can win them the World Cup. However, they have a midfield that is probably the strongest in the tournament. So I'm sticking with France as the winners. I think England will get to the semi-finals. I don't think they're good enough to win it. I don't think Argentina will win it, except I think they could, depending on how the draw splits up, I think we'll end up with another Argentina-France final, if it can work that way. Or, who knows? A hope and dream is that England make the final, and then anything can happen in a one-game playoff, right? So, we'll see. Again, this is just my second one. I still don't know what I'm doing. I hope I can stitch the two parts together. We'll find that out today. I'm gonna go get a Subway because there's nothing I prefer more than a tuna sub that actually contains 0 tuna. So I'm gonna do that, and then get on with the rest of my day. And there's probably a football game on soon that I can't watch because I'm at work as well. So, which I do prefer, by the way. I prefer the games being on at this time to what England's having to deal with and all those countries. I saw the Algeria-Jordan game the other night and I thought, what time must it even be there right now? You know, like, games that are starting at 8 o'clock our time, if that's England starting at 8 o'clock, that's what, 3 in the morning? That's horrific. Do you just go out the night before? So, like, do you just go to the pub at normal time, 7 p.m., but just stay longer? Are they open 24 hours through the World Cup? They must be. Like, when do you watch that? Do you just wake up at 2:30 and watch it? I don't know. I guess it depends if it's on a Tuesday and you've still got to go to work. Are people even working in England during the World Cup? I don't know. In here, I mean, like I said, Canada's very good at getting behind their teams when it's on, but the game finished yesterday and nobody's really even mentioned it today. I've not heard it anywhere. In England, I feel like we'd be talking about it and, I don't know. So if England beat Panama, I'll be back on the wagon. We'll be, we're going to win it. But if it finishes 1-0, I think Tuchel's got this tournament. And if England don't make at least the semi-finals, which was the same as Gareth Southgate, then I think Tuchel's one and done on tournaments. And we don't appoint a German as England team manager again. If he wins it, knight him. Make him Sir Thomas Tuchel. But if he loses, then we still don't like Germans. So that's it. That's all I've got. I'm going to go get my flip-flop sandwich that I'm going to eat. Cardboard with 100% non-natural fillings. And I'm going to go back to work. Okay, bye.